welcome to Mono Rants the Boys, the only boys podcast that thinks everything should have two parts. That episode, 2 parts. That espresso, double it. That breakfast, make a second. I'm one of your hosts, and given everything I've just said, the confusingly named Mono. And with me is my co-host and master of 2, Ciara.
Everything comes in twos. 2 staplers.
Don't tell me 2 of something is too much and 2 of something else isn't enough.
The dastardly duplicator.
Yeah, so we're back for another 2-part.
Elliot, 2 O's, 2 T's.
Because that's who we are. We talk too much, and this show has too much to talk about.
We thought this wouldn't happen till episode 6.
No, yeah, I kind of, at the end of the first watch, before we sat down for the second or the third, I was like, yeah, I think this one's going to be a long record. And then when we started yesterday, and it was like, we're only halfway through the episode, we're well over an hour.
Well, we watched the episode 3 times. We normally only watch an episode twice.
Yeah.
And we actually went, no, I need to watch this again. And we went and actually watched episode 4.
Yeah.
To lead into this one as well, which is something we don't do.
Rarely, yeah.
Yeah, like we'll go back and we watch all the episodes together for the season wrap just to get the full storyline.
But normally, it's just 2 watches.
It's
one
very,
one
very
just
rare.
to watch, one for notes, and then into the record. But yeah, yesterday.
At most, we tend to just kind of go and like find a scene to be like, hey, there was that thing in that scene, and go back and we'll check that, and that's it. But no, yeah.
No, there was a hell of a lot in this episode. But we've already talked about one side of it. And we don't need to do a summary, so will we just jump straight into the boys/farm side of things?
The farm. Old man Stanny had a farm and created eldritch monsters.
Yeah, we don't get to see them for a bit, though, because it starts off with Firecracker's interview on TV talking about how she's going to press charges against Annie.
Oh, yeah, and that they say that Annie has an alibi for
but we all know she was involved
with
Ezekiel's
and it's
death.
like, yeah, she does have an alibi. She was beating the
piss out of you.
tar out of you.
Yeah, on live television. That's where she was.
Yeah, we know exactly where she was when he died.
Not even the funniest bit about that, because it's on her show. Because she brings on...
She's gotten a show now on VNN or whatever it is, but she's got a desk and shit, and it's like Truth Bomb with Firecracker.
But she brings on this doctor to talk about...
Oh my god, and he's from, what's their church called? It was like, it's from the institute, or research that's been done at like one of their institutes.
Some bullshit faith research institute.
God.
Because, he talks about some study that's been done on ferrets that proved that babies can feel pain from the point of conception.
Yeah, which was up until about 40 years ago. Surgery was done on up to 1-year-old infants without anesthesia because people didn't think babies could feel pain. Yeah, it's true. Google it.
I'd believe it. What I wouldn't believe is what this bullshit guy is saying.
Yeah, no, that is some crap, and it's so dangerous, and like especially with everything that's kind of going on in the States at the minute, in terms of like reproductive health and stuff like that that sort of information is very, very close to what is being circulated, and it's just blatantly false. But yeah, poor Annie's listening to that, and she's in the Starlight house, and it's just been like graffitied, it's been ransacked.
Oh yeah,
like in the aftermath of everything's happening. That's when you get Firecracker being like, I'm calling for a war on all...
It's open season on all Starlighters, yeah.
Which is so dangerous.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, and she's just obviously trying to... The whole point of having that doctor on is to rile people up further, because Starlight killed a living being capable of feeling pain. Yeah, please, like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Bill Hicks on this one. If you're not in my address book, you're not a real person.
No, there's that song that's going around on TikTok that I love. That's like, we never really studied the female body. More mysterious than the Illuminati. It's like, yes, fucking brilliant. Oh, it's a banger. It's got a proper drop in it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong.
Yeah.
And weaponizing it against her when they don't know the circumstances of their choices. And who cares about the circumstances and the choices? Like, it's none of their fucking business.
Oh, absolutely.
And pulling that out, it's so dirty. Like, it's just, it really is. It's low. Because what Firecracker did was a crime. No matter what way you look at it. Like, with her being involved with the minor. And she's managed to get away with that now scot-free. Yeah,
well, we were saying in the last episode, that's a story that you see so often in the States, well, not just the States, but around at the minute of, right-wing religious person being like, oh, those evil pedos out there, and then, lo and behold, charged for it.
And also there's the hypocrisy of it, they're like, you had the South Park, it's the kindergarten teacher. Nice.
Yeah.
there's also like a lot of
Yeah,
sexism
it's
involved
a teenage boy and a grown woman as opposed to a grown
it's
man and
still
a teenage
wrong.
girl. Oh yeah, it's equally as wrong, but there is absolutely that double standard of it. But that's all last episode, and we're trying to not have 3 parts. So, so moving on, and Monique are trying to
Janine's
Janine.
been suspended for 2 weeks for knocking the snot out of a kid.
Yeah,
which she shouldn't have done. Like, the kid needed stitches. Like,
and we covered that last week too, via the last episode. Violence is not the answer.
Like, when they're talking to her and she turns around to and is like, why shouldn't I have hit him? That's what you do.
Yeah.
And Monique, you were saying that you were surprised at Monique's outburst. I think she's
not surprised,
scared and she's worried for her daughter.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's the fact that it seemed like it just came across as if it was like fresh anger, and I'm sure the two of them would have had many conversations since he punched Todd in front of Janine,
because we never saw the conversation that they
and they've already had a conversation about her getting in trouble at school. That's why he went to go and look for Todd at the start of the season.
We never saw the conversation that was had when they had to tell Janine that Todd was dead. Because remember,
true. Yeah, this could be her acting out even more following that.
This seems to be like, we knew she was acting out, but this seems to be like the culmination of all of this.
It's getting more severe.
So Monique is obviously stressed out. She's dealing with this on a constant basis because obviously I've forgotten the daughter's name. Janine. Sorry. I got it all mushed in my head and I couldn't remember what I was supposed to do. I was going to call her Janelle at one point. Like, lives with her full time. So she's 12, 13. So you got them fun teenage hormones coming in too.
Yeah.
So I'd say it is. Needs to go have a conversation with her.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Open and honest
I just thought Janine was a little bit angrier than I perhaps would have expected, given everything. But
I'm also taking into account like her age, and everything. Like, she was given the context of this kid was going on about how great Homelander is, and she told him the truth about Homelander, and he told her to F off. So she hit him.
Well, I think that's where her real worry is I don't want Janine to end up like you,
using your fists first. Yeah. Because Janine's articulate enough and intelligent enough to be able to.
No, I don't think it's that.
The same way
No,
is.
I don't think she's. I think she's more concerned about Janine getting obsessed with an anti-superhero agenda than she is of Janine specifically using violence.
She doesn't want to lose somebody
to that superhero shit, not to that violent shit.
It consumed him. Todd, it got him killed
in a different way, but consumed him too. Yeah.
You know,
that's what I think her concern is.
Yeah.
Obviously, she doesn't want a kid going around hitting on people, but when she finds out that was the spark that made Janine flip out at the kid, that I think is when she's oh no, I can't, not not again.
More superhero shit. This is not taking down another member of the family. And
a third generation of that family as well.
And has been very honest with her about the struggles in his family and everything to do with it. And I think he just needs to talk to her more and explain more, how it's affected him and why she shouldn't get so aggressive about it.
Well, we saw a bit of that at the end of season 3 when he sits down with her.
You can be anti-soup without having to go around and fight the world about it.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's what he will do when he gets the chance to, because that's kind of his thing in this episode of, like, the rest, like, the boys are stressing him out so fucking much and consuming so much of his time that he doesn't have the time he needs to properly talk to Janine. And, he addresses that later on.
Yeah, because he's like, I got to get home to my little girl because I really need to have a chat with her.
But he's not the only one torn, because we see Kessler and Butcher having a meeting in the park, and Kessler wants him to go full Butcher, basically. He's like, hey, let's just you and me go and do this thing. And, I think what he's talking about. So is
Kessler actually there?
So, yeah.
Is Kessler just, the way Homelander's got his 3 alters that he sees?
And these Butcher already has
Becca, who seems to be like reason. I have seen a lot of talk
online about him being,
because Kessler's not seen with anybody else. Nobody else has seen.
When he gets shut out of the meeting at the start of the season with Mallory, Kessler just appears.
Yeah.
Then he sees him later in his own apartment when he gets the drugs for Ryan, but obviously he could have just gotten them some other way.
Yeah.
Every time we've seen Kessler, it's just been him and Butcher. So there is a lot of talk online that he might just be somebody from Butcher's past who was also dead, like Becca, who represents a different part of his personality. which would be very obvious which part of the personality
Oh,
he
yeah.
represents, given the way he's been acting.
Yes.
It could well go that way.
Or it could all just be a fake out and Kessler's actually real.
That's what I was going to say. I want to watch very carefully over the next episode or two. If the show absolutely...
Because the way Shamir responds to him, you could take it as, who the fuck are you talking to? Or just complete terror because of the events that have just occurred.
Yeah, it could be either. I reckon if the show...
Oh shit, you've done this to me and you've brought another fucking nutter with you?
We know Becca is a hallucination because we know Becca's dead.
Yeah. And we've also had confirmation that when he's been talking to Becca, that other people have been like, what are you doing?
But that's clear cut. But with Kessler, if they broadcast it over the next episode or two, if the show makes it really, really obvious without actually outright saying it that it is part of his mind, I think it's going to be a red herring and he will actually exist.
Yeah, he'll actually move something.
If the hints are way more subtle over the next episode or two, I think he is actually in his mind, but I'll be waiting to see. I'm not making a decision yet. Plus, I'm always wrong.
See his voices of reason, as it were. Not that Kessler's really reason.
But it's his angel and his devil.
Manifesting as like people and individuals and people that he equates to different
moments. They're his good angel and bad angel on the shoulder.
But they're different people from different parts of his life, and particularly his very intimate, private, personal life with Becca versus his hardcore black ops.
Yeah.
Doing what needs to be done life. Whereas Homelander doesn't have that. It's literally just him. But it's each one of his is like the one that just wants the love, the one that wants to burn it all down.
And also his personality, his ego wouldn't allow
for somebody else
for a manifestation of somebody else to be telling him what to do. You know, he wouldn't listen to somebody else. He wouldn't listen to if he wouldn't manifest Stillwell because he wouldn't listen to her anymore. You know what I mean? He's not going to manifest anybody from his past because he hates them all and he doesn't trust them.
Doppelganger to beer.
Yeah, but I think that's what it is with him. Is he has other versions of himself.
Just as an aside, back to last week's episode, where did he get all that breast milk?
Do you really want to know?
Not really.
Then don't ask. Because this show would likely tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kessler and Butcher are having a meeting and Kessler's basically calling Butcher soft. He's like, your team is shit. And
Frenchie's a drug addict. Huey's on the verge or MM's on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
Yeah. Huey's a pussy, and you've got two soups on your team who you just seem to have a blind spot for.
Yeah, Butcher's like, yeah, fair enough, Annie, because they don't get along. They don't like each other. They're literally enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah,
but he is like, but Kimiko is a good weapon.
Yeah,
which tells you what he thinks of Kimiko, because like Frenchie had to fight so hard to get him to keep her at the very start, and she has had to prove herself, and like taking the V after everything that happened to be able to protect them, I think raised her in his esteem. He still doesn't respect her, but he understands how useful she is because that he reduces them all to assets.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like we saw that very much in the last season as well. Like season 3, Butcher was just using them as weapons. Like, but you kind of you get to see a little bit of Kessler's point when we go back to the office and nobody is having a good time.
Oh god, that office is like fuck. Oh.
Well, Kimiko's scraping "fuck my life" into the desk.
Like yeah, literally walk in, walk back out again, be like, oh no, I'm going home.
I'm actually kind of surprised when MM asks later on about Frenchie and then asks her, is she okay?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm fine. I'm surprised that MM isn't like, really? Why the hell did you carve that shit into my desks? My lovely
folding cranes as well.
Yes, you spotted the crane thing, which I didn't acknowledge or recognize the significance of.
So if you fold 1,000 cranes inside of a year, you get a wish. You can make a wish, but they're a symbol of hope and peace.
So that's
and like healing in challenging times. So for her to be sitting there folding cranes is a nice little touch.
Well, it shows the difference as well between her character and Frenchie in this episode, because she is a little bit more willing to talk. Well, certainly by the end of the episode, she says what she says to Frenchie, whereas he just seems to want to.
It's consuming him.
Yeah, but like in a really not healthy and kind of not stupid way, but it's like
Frenchie's not got a healthy outlet. He doesn't know how to deal with this, so he's dealing with his guilt, and especially what he says to Annie about repentance and being afraid of the things that he's telling Kimiko about, the things that he's done. Yeah, he's not in a good place. He's doing a lot of drugs too.
No, it's just he's stuck between like wanting to be punished and I don't know. I think I'm just it's not self-pity. Well, it is kind of self-pity, and I'm just like, just do something about it. Because he does it towards the end of the episode, and it's not the right choice, but like...
Yeah, it's okay. He's CIA. I was like, that's not going to do anything. All they're going to do is just remove him.
But yeah, in that scene there...
Like, yeah, because he'd be like, hey, I did this for the CIA, and I did this, and I did that. Like,
well, he won't tell them any of that stuff. He'll talk about all the shit he did for little Nina, I'd say.
Yeah.
But in the office there is where Annie kind of first brings it up, and she's like, did you and Colin have a fight? Like, he's ghosted me.
Yeah.
And him and Kimiko asked him, is he okay? And he asks her, is she okay? And everybody's not having a good time.
And then it's just in the back.
Yeah, and then Butcher...
Seething.
Butcher shows up to add some much needed tension to the atmosphere.
In his step, actually, you notice that he's a bit of a happy chappy since he had an explosion.
I don't know that he's like.
No, he's not better by any sense of the word, but he's got like a new kind of purpose. He's got a motivation. He comes into them and he's like, well, I have some good news.
Oh, well, he's back.
Godalkin cooked up this little virus, blah, 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 blah.
Well, you saw a little bit of it last week because he had been brought back into the fold. And now he's like, well, it's back with me being in charge of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about the virus. He tells them all about the virus because we had only been talking off air about whether or not who on the boys' side actually knew about it. Obviously Mallory does, and obviously Butcher does, because we saw them both in Gen V being told or finding out about it. But we were wondering whether or not he had told.
So unless Mallory told Kessler, and Kessler was the person she made that phone call to.
And Kessler's real.
And Kessler is real, and Kessler's the one then that said Billy.
Because what I was saying,
told Butcher about what was going on. Because then he says, "I went to go and nick it."
Because I think when
and it wasn't there.
Yeah, I'll need to go back.
When was that?
Yeah, the timeline has gotten a little bit confusing, and also because I was saying at the time when Grace in Gen V, when Grace is like, "Did you get all that on the radio to whoever?"
Yeah.
We were like, "It's probably not Butcher."
God,
but then we saw, like, we saw Butcher at the end of the season.
So was it Kessler?
There. Well, no, but if it was, so I was like, okay, so it must have been Butcher she was talking to. But then at the start of this season, she's like, I don't want to talk to you, Butcher. Get the fuck out of my face. So it's like, well, then it probably wasn't Butcher that she was talking to. So how did Butcher find out about what was going on in Godalkin?
Kessler told him.
And if Kessler told him, then Kessler's real.
Kessler's the one. That's what's in that file of stuff he gives.
Yeah,
him.
but if Kessler, when they were sitting in the park earlier.
Yeah.
But that would imply that what we saw at the very end of Gen V of Butcher going to get the virus has only just happened. But we know that Newman got the virus before the last episode of the show. Or sorry, before everything went down on campus.
Yeah.
So
why would they think
Butcher
that the virus
talked about it as
still
if
be in the woods?
Butcher talked about it as if Newman got to it just before him, kind of thing. So yeah, the timeline's gotten a tiny bit confusing there
because they're also announcing the movie for the Guardians of Godalkin that they've filmed or at least in production of. So like,
yeah, and we've seen.
Yeah, so I don't know when exactly that scene happened, or if that's or how long the timeline has been.
So I'm assuming. No, I'm still assuming that Butcher went and found out about the virus a while back.
Yeah, and now they found out. I'm so confused.
I don't know. I'm not sure that what Kessler gave him was anything to do with the virus.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way he acts there is as if he's just found out about it and he just went to the university to try and get it. So that's where I'm like, it's a bit confusing now. But if Butcher is a bit touched in the head and Kessler's not real, we might get an explanation more about that.
Unless that was files that they got about that they managed to retrieve, like the virus is gone. He got files, gave them over, and we're like, this is all I could find there. And they've since gone through it, and because he was able to say, oh, it's not strong enough to take out Homelander.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just whatever else he could retrieve, and they've given him back, like, what's relevant.
Well, yeah, because actually, obviously at the start of the season when he has that meeting with...
Kessler.
No, with Vic. He says that, that virus isn't strong enough to take on. So obviously he's known about the virus for a while. It's just that when he goes to get it has kind of confused me a little bit.
I think he went to get it when he wasn't welcome, but I don't know how he found out about it.
Yeah, it's how he found out about that, because Mallory, I don't think would have told him.
He'd be keeping tabs on Newman himself.
Probably, yeah. Maybe we're getting too hung up on it. But yeah, he tells them about the virus and is like, I have a plan, but we'll need a presidential pardon.
So we find out where Stan went.
Yeah, Stan's been in prison the whole time.
He's got a pottery class in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I love how he's just like, no, I'm okay with this prison life. It's less stressful.
Yeah, nobody can get at me in here.
And he really doesn't seem all that interested in anything they have to say until Butcher tells him about Zoe now having
he
V.
doesn't like that.
That's when he's like, well, what about the pardon and custody of Zoe?
Yeah.
And that gets Stan involved. When he comes outside...
Man knows how to wear a suit.
No, when he sees Annie, he's like, "Oh, Annie, what a pleasant surprise! You know, I always felt a certain kinship with you."
She's like, "Shut up, get in the van."
Yeah, shut up, get in the van.
He asks for the towel to put on the seat. Oh, it's brilliant.
He's always great, but he's just particularly fun in this because he's like sassy corporate Alfred instead.
Yeah.
He's just giving everybody sass. Like when he sees...
He's like, what can you do? Put me back in jail? That's fine.
But particularly when he sees Vic for the first time later on and he's like, oh, you felt betrayed? I'm so sorry.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
so they head off out to Stan's like fancy...
Well, he doesn't tell them where they're going. He just says we're going west. And then we see them arrive at a farm.
This big farmhouse. And you started going, oh no, as they start to move into the farmhouse and you see the blood and they're going down the stairs into the basement and you were going, oh no!
It just immediately reminded me of a bit from the comics. It's just the way that as they're going down the stairs and there's the bloody handprints and stuff like that down to the basement, it really reminded me of a bit in the comics. And spoiler if you haven't read the comics, and big spoiler as well, so maybe jump ahead a minute or two. When Huey is trying to hunt down Butcher and stop him from enacting his final plan, and he finds out that Butcher kept Vogelbaum alive all this time to make the V.
And has him out in like a cabin in the woods, and it has a lab like that.
Huey's the one going down the stairs trying to find him. I think he's on the phone to Butcher and he's all freaked out, and it's a real tense scene. It really reminded me of that. And then it just primed me for what happens at the end of the episode with Samir. That the second she's like, "Where's Samir?" I was like, "I know where he is."
Q going back, watching it frame by frame, trying to
figure out when.
IDing people.
But yeah, they get to the farm and head pretty much straight down to the basement and find the lab.
The lab has been trashed, and you see V leaking into a drain.
Yeah, obviously evidence of a virus having been there, but there's no vials left.
Yeah, Frenchie's off exploring. They come across a bunny who's been given temp V.
Yeah.
And Butcher actually takes the little IV out and lets the bunny go. And Kimiko sees and gives him like a little smile and a nod.
And I wonder, is it just...
bunny! And I was secretly kind of hoping for Killer Bunny Avanti with the big pointy teethy.
Yeah.
Really wanted that. Didn't get it, but you know.
The beast of
Yeah, big pointy teethies. But we were immediately like, this is the animal episode.
Yes.
Because I love Jamie the hamster. I just thought that was hilarious.
Oh, Jamie was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
The only thing that I loved all the V animal stuff, and I was only disappointed by one aspect of it. It gave me no new information to figure out what the fuck Sloan is.
No.
I still don't know if Sloan is a sentient...
I was like, if that's in the groundwater, every farm I know of has barn cats.
Yeah,
V'd up cats.
There's probably going to be more V'd up animals, but we did see a shitload of FBSA vans there at the end doing cleanup, so I'm going to assume we're not...
You're never going to catch all them barn cats, though.
No, but for the purposes of the show, in your own headcanon, there can be a whole bunch of V'd up cats running around in the same way that Jamie's still terrorizing Moscow.
He's terrorizing his way across Russia.
That one, I believe. In this instance, I think us seeing the FBSA vans at the end is as much to say that situation is now taken care of. We won't see any more V farm animals coming from this situation.
The vampire sheep.
Yeah. But before we get to that, Vic arrives rather dramatically.
Oh my god, what an entrance! Because everyone's like, "Oh,
I just think it's like dramatic much."
But before Vic arrives, is talking to Frenchie, and Frenchie's like talking about finding all the little stands for the vials and the different iterations
of the virus.
But there isn't any virus. And then they're like, "Shit, your nose is bleeding," and everyone's like, "Fuck, my nose is bleeding." And
I meant to look actually back at that and see, is Kimiko's nose bleeding?
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
That would be interesting.
And cue Vic's dramatic arrival. And then she's like, what the fuck happened? And he's like, everyone's like, we don't know, we just got here.
Well, yeah, I think she's on the offensive immediately because she assumes they have done everything she's seen.
Yeah. She thinks they're in there threatening like the guys that are working in her clandestine lab. And they're trying to explain to her that no, when they arrived it was like this. And Edgar's like, well, you may as well use their talents. We're here.
Yeah, well,
we can all search a lot more effectively together because we've all got skin in the game.
Yeah.
It was like, or they can make, rather effective cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Because it's Stan.
It's the argument he knows will work with her, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he believes it as well. Like, he'd certainly rather all of them die before him or Vic dies,
Yeah. She's like, is Shamir. Is he here? And he's like, he's my head of R&D.
Well, he doesn't say that yet.
No, but he's like, good choice. I would have taken
That's
him.
what he says there, yeah. When she accuses the boys of, like, she's like, what have you done to Samir? They're like, we don't know who the fuck that is. We just got here. That's when Stan is like, you have him working on the project? That was a good call. I'd have gotten him on it too,
yeah,
kind
I'd
of thing.
Done it too. And yeah, about, that they were trying to increase the virus. So it's like, we all want the virus, so we may as well work together
to try and find out what it is. Temporary truce kind of thing.
Yeah, so they head out to search the property, and it's a farm, so, lots of property, and it's also nice and cold. Yay! Just to make things just a little bit more uncomfortable.
Yeah, and Stan's line when he steps in the puddle of blood, and Vic's like...
No, it's just mud.
I thought it was supposed to be blood. Colourblind.
No, it's just supposed to be like horrible, shitty mud, like they're trudging across a field. Yeah. He's in $600 shoes.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm sure you have 60 more pairs. And he's like, that's not the point. Prince Andrew gave me these shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talk about...
And he's like, I always hated it here. And she's like, really? I loved it. And he's like, no, the smell, the animals, just all of it. Like,
yeah, where she was probably happy to get away from all
She felt free.
Yep. Well, that's where he talks about like Homelander being so hard to control and you've put yourself and Zoe in great danger. And she's like, nuh-uh, you did that.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, that's still no call to turn her into an almost says monster. And she calls him out over it and is like, that's why you always got me to hide it, because you thought I was a monster.
Of it.
And he's like, no, I just, wanted it to keep you safe. And she's like, well, look, I think that's bullshit. And Zoe's never going to have to live like that. And Stan has a look on his face of like, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah. What?
And I want to know what exactly does that mean. Does that just mean she's never going to make her daughter feel ashamed that she's got V? Or does that mean that she's also going to create this world with Sage and Homelander where soups are in charge?
Yeah, like, where's the agenda going now for her? But they make their way to a barn. And she's got some chickens.
Yes, which has some chickens. Some very, very, very angry chickens.
And they find a body.
One or two very angry chickens, and some that just aren't bothered.
Chickens are like that. You just get that one chicken that's a prick.
Well, that's what I thought was hilarious about it. Is there's when they find the dead body with the nest and eggs in it. And then the other chicken immediately...
chickens are pricks. They don't have to be a V'd up chicken to do that.
But there's you do have to be a V'd up chicken to burst through somebody's chest, though.
Yeah.
And they start shooting it. But there's like two chickens that are attacking people. And the guys are all shooting 3 or 4 chickens on the ground that are in a group together. They're just pecking at stuff on the ground. They're not attacking it at all.
I like the one that goes for Kimiko and she's got it by the legs.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but that can just happen anyway with a rooster. Like, a rooster can just be like, I'm fucking having you.
Vic pops the head of one that's going
for Stan.
But
it's only the one going for Stan. She couldn't care less. Like, one of her Secret Service agents just had a chicken burst through its chest.
Yeah, I've seen people complain about the fact that Vic could have easily taken out all those animals.
No, she's only protecting what she cares about, which is Stan.
Yeah, she's like, if they
Starlight
went for her,
is having some power issues.
Oh, we did skip over that, yes, because when Vic first shows up,
yeah, she does get a bit threatening, and the lights. We were like, oh, maybe there's no power, but there is lighting in all the
power there.
We were,
maybe it's not enough, but then it happens again there with the chickens.
Yeah, and there's lighting in that barn, but I think she's just so fucking overwhelmed with everything that's gone on and all the guilt and the shame of because you had the big national reveal that she blinded somebody using her powers.
Yeah, it's the physical manifestations of her emotional state are that she is having troubles with her powers is what it seems to be.
She's so afraid of blinding somebody else. Or just everything that's happened to her. Like, she's completely shutting down, but she's still going.
Yeah.
But that shutdown is being represented by her powers not working.
Yeah, so the firecracker stuff is really, really having an effect on her.
Because she was stronger than she had been before that.
Well, yeah, we saw her at her strongest.
Well, she'd had more control.
And we saw her at her strongest physically ever when she fought Soldier Boy.
Yeah. So yeah, like she can't even protect them. Like she tries to, and she just kind of fizzles out.
Yeah, she fizzles out there, and they manage to escape the barn. And I was quite surprised at how
Go! Fucking leg it!
I know.
And then they have a fight outside the barn.
But the chickens could. If you can burst through a man's chest, you can burst through a wooden door.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the sheep later on. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
You know, that was a little bit. Well, okay, maybe the chickens, I will give them a pass because
chickens are territorial. You're right.
And some of those chickens didn't care at all. So
yeah,
maybe
they were just like, fuck off.
Once they leave and lock the door, that angry chicken was like, good, they're gone. But those sheep are hunting them. So the wooden door shouldn't have worked against the sheep. But anyway, they get outside, and they all start fighting. And well, Vic has a go, or Butcher has a go with Vic.
No. Stan, it's a miracle to me that all of you are still alive.
Yeah.
Like, because they're bickering over shit. And then, like, Vic's like, oh, Butcher, did you not tell him about the deal we made?
Well, that's how it starts, is he has a go at her wanting to find out what was going on because of the whole Kentucky Fried Massacre.
It's a beat-up chicken. There's one bit about that when Frenchie, when they're in the barn, goes, why is this happening to me again? And Kimiko looks at him like, the fuck?
Again? I was like, you were there for Jamie.
Yeah,
you should remember.
There's just something about her face that's like, hang on, what?
Yeah, you should remember Jamie. You shouldn't be looking at surprise here. Or is he talking about something else? But I don't think so.
Yeah. Or like, was he attacked by chickens before?
Yeah, maybe he was attacked by just regular chickens before.
Yeah, because I know people who are afraid of like birds because they got like attacked by a fucking like pigeon when they were a kid.
But the fighting outside happens. Yeah, Butcher wants to know what's going on, and she says she doesn't know, and he's like, "Oh yeah, right, I believe that, you big liar." And she's like, "Well, did you tell your team about the deal we had?" And it all goes downhill from there. They all bicker, and it's after all the bickering then Stan's like, it's a wonder you're all still alive.
Yeah, and they're like, fuck it, come on, let's go, keep searching.
And I'm like, it's not a wonder, they're the main characters of our TV show. They have plot armor. Of course they're still alive.
Yeah, but they're like, look, we have to keep on searching because
Yeah.
we found one person. It's not the person they were looking for. They were like, oh, it was his lab assistant, I think.
Yeah, it's the lab assistant that they find.
So
in the
they're
first
like,
barn.
right, we're going in the right direction. We're coming across people. So
Yeah.
they continue making their way like through the pastures.
And that's where MM and Kimiko have their briefly aforementioned chat about whether or not Frenchie's okay. And
Yeah,
whether
they
or
kind of
not
split
she's
off
okay.
and have these little like banters.
Yeah, because there's that chat.
There's Vic
Annie and Vic
Annie.
have the chat where
It's not really a chat, is it?
No, that conversation was like, she had a very, very similar conversation with Homelander last season when Homelander went to drink the cow's milk.
Yeah.
But
when she gave
uses
him
the
Ryan's
exact
address.
phrase of, you need to lock your shit down. And then tells Annie at the end of this conversation, oh yeah, you really have your shit locked down.
Yeah.
But
because she's like, oh,
it's
you
not
think
the exact
I wanna be
same conversation.
Nadia
Like,
all the time?
yeah.
Because I was thinking as well, using her powers, we've seen her being attacked and being very panicky and not having the control over her powers when they get into the fight with the alleyway where she's just blasting bits off him.
In relation to what though?
Not blowing up the chickens.
Oh no, I think it's just because they're not a direct threat to her
Yeah.
or Stan. But yeah, she when panicked, she does have.
She doesn't seem to have the same level of control over it. It's a lot more erratic.
Yeah, but again, that's probably because she's used to, anytime she has used her powers, apart from Congress, it's been in a very assassinating, calm.
And Congress, she was very planned out on what
Yeah,
she
it was planned, but
going to
yeah,
do.
when somebody attacks her, she's not used to being attacked. She gets a bit panicky, and yeah, she can't quite control her powers in full in that. But no, it's just that chat there. It just reminded me a lot of the one with Homelander, the last season.
And it's very similar to like the one with Marie. The way she's like, oh, I'm trying to get on your good side, and a little bit of like friendly advice. Like,
yeah, and she's
we're
like,
trying to be buddy.
Yeah, and like, come on, I know I'm the only person who knows what it's like, Annie, because I'm the
she's
same
like,
as you.
You've been Starlight for so long.
And that comment, I don't see what she was trying to do in that conversation, because it's like she tries to tell Annie at first. It's like, hey Annie, you need to keep your shit together, and then she actively antagonizes her by saying the thing that she's tried to use to relate to her. That's what it confused me. She's like, she tries to say, oh, I'm like you because I also had to keep Nadia down the same way you have to keep Annie down.
Yeah.
But, do you even know what it's like to be Annie anymore? It's like, you just tried to relate to her, and then immediately you drive this stake in between. Like, what was the purpose of that? Unless it was it to try and get a rise out of Annie? Was she just trying to gauge how imbalanced Annie is?
I really think she is just a mean.
Or was it just to be bitchy to Annie?
That is atypical mean girl.
Yeah.
Of, oh, you're pretty. Thank you. Oh, so you think you're pretty.
But when...
Like
no,
turning
yeah,
it around.
no, I get it. But when...
that of, I'm being nice to you, but I'm going to be, like, aggressive to your face in this really passive manner. It's very much a girl tactic.
I think that's what I didn't get about it, was because...
It's a girl tactic.
Oh, no, but when we've seen her have other similar conversations, like with Marie or like with Homelander.
Well, Marie, she wants on side because Marie's useful to her.
All those conversations have been to directly further her agenda and her goal. Whereas this conversation is it just to be bitchy, or
I think it's just Annie. Annie also tried. She might know that Annie tried to do so, like, because she knew that Annie was in cahoots with Singer.
Oh yeah.
And everything that went down there and how badly that went. So unless she's like trying to rile her up to make her do something that'll only benefit Newman's position more. Yeah. Because if she gets her to blow her top and storm off.
Well, yeah, maybe that's it.
That's one less person who's going to try, like, when they do find the virus or find whatever's going on, that's one less, like, superpowered individual she's got to deal with.
Or she's just trying to see whether or not, like what she said at the start of the conversation of, well, your power seemed to be on the fritz, and that concerns me.
Yeah, so maybe she's trying to see if she could get her fucking going.
But after that, we see Butcher.
Because they know that Annie, like, their kind of backup plan is Annie blinds her. Yeah. So Annie can't blind her.
Well, she doesn't know that's their backup plan.
No. But I'm sure she's considered it.
And I'd say she certainly considered the aspect of, if not it being used to kill her, just having Annie blind her straight up, because that's how she uses her power.
Yeah. Well, that was it. They were like, at the very least, if we blind her, she can't, destroy. That's why they were putting the acid in the eye drops. Yeah. To take out her eyes, like.
But one of the other people who split off is Butcher, and he sees the bunny that he has rescued.
Oh, that bunny. And I had a brief moment, because I'm not good with animals being hurt. No. Really. And I was like, oh no, the bunny.
But if it makes you feel better, I owe you an apology, because you were 100% right.
Oh, the tentacle, the eldritch horror that
well, no, just all the stuff you were saying
bunny?
last week, when I was like, nah, that's going to be way too complicated. They're not going to have some, like, whole separate entity inside Butcher that's manifesting Becca to try and help him further this parasite's goals. And yeah, no, it's basically John and Sun Hee. He's got this cancer-y thing inside of him. I don't know if he has tentacles or not.
That bunny was being given V24 as well. Huh? That bunny was being given V24 because it had the green with the things stuck on it that was V24. So this is, and given what we've
just seen... V24 made a tumor that was all kind of tentacly. But in John and Sun Hee, he gives her V when she already has cancer. Yeah, and that makes the cancer. It makes the cancer super. So has he just given V to a tumor, a tentacle tumor? Yeah, and made it super powered, so it's going to be even more powerful than the bunny.
I think that's what I think has happened.
If Kessler's not real, when Butcher blacks out, does Kessler take over, and is it like
in a like Fight Club, Tyler Durden?
But certainly one way or the other, regardless of Kessler, I think that when Butcher blacks out,
them tentacles come out to play,
and they're what ripped Ezekiel to shred. God. Like
I really hope
like the video game The Darkness with the video game The Darkness.
Oh yeah,
he's got all those like mad tentacles things that like rip people apart and stuff. Yeah, so you were right, because that's probably. Well, I'm assuming that we are to understand what has happened to this poor bunny is what is happening to Butcher. Yeah,
or at least a nod towards
some version of that. Yeah, and that combined with John and Sun Hee from Diabolical means Butcher's probably got some giant cancer
Cthulhu.
here, or cancer soup inside him.
Cthulhu.
But so hooray. That will be fun, very, very fun to see what way that plays out. And the only other talk that kind of happens as
he very quickly is like smush the bunny, which I'm very glad we weren't shown because I would have cried.
Well, the bunny's dead at that stage. He's smushing the tentacle monster inside the bunny. Yeah, the only other kind of chat that we have there where they've all split off is Frenchie and Annie talk about religion, and Frenchie being a Catholic who like a lot of Christians, picks and chooses their belief. He's like, redemption? I don't believe in redemption. I just believe in punishment.
Well, considering there is that lovely loophole of repentance on deathbed repentance and your soul being cleansed.
I mean, I can understand where he's coming from there of like, why does some priest who I've never met get to absolve me of sins? And it's like, well, he's just the middleman. Yeah.
When he was saying some sins don't deserve repentance, Frenchie's killed kids. I'm kind of on his side.
Well, aren't
there... In terms of not deserving of repentance.
Aren't there mortal sins from which you cannot repent?
I don't know. I'd have to go back through my catechism.
Well, I mean, there's the whole suicide thing of you don't get.
But then that was, I think that was overturned. It's kind of very large.
But that would have been the last big thing. That was something that meant you didn't get a funeral.
Between that and the consecration of unbaptized babies, because unbaptized babies used to go to purgatory
because of original sin.
That was overturned in the 1962 Vatican Councils by Pope John Paul II.
Yeah.
So all babies are deemed, regardless of baptism or not, they were like, no, it's a pure innocent soul. But in terms of suicide, I think it's dependent on where you are, because some areas still wouldn't allow you to be buried on like holy ground.
Yeah. But suffice to say, yeah, I'm with you. There are certain things that should not probably be forgiven.
Yeah.
And child murder is certainly amongst them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, just kill him already. I said this before. They're setting Frenchie up to die.
Stop ruining Frenchie. Just kill him.
Yeah, stop assassinating his character and just assassinate him. Please. I fucking loved Frenchie for the first 3 seasons. I knew he had done some bad shit, but now I'm like, he's baby killer who is like sleeping with somebody whose family he killed and then chooses to further traumatize them. I'm like, just stop. Just kill him already. He's one of my favorite characters from the comics. And I don't want to say they're ruining him, because they're not. It's not like stupid writing decisions. It's just, I don't like where they're going with it.
Fucking little Nina. She caused all of this.
It's where it fucking started. That is where it started. No, because we said this. There was no mention of him having killed women, yes, when he tells that story about his first murder to Frenchie, or to Huey. Yeah. But he had never a hint that he had killed kids before little Nina came along. Yeah, I'm okay with him being a murderer, because I knew he was a murderer, because he killed people in the comics too. He wasn't a good guy.
They're not good people.
Yeah, but he's
like, we understand that they are not good people, but this, no. He was already like a crazy gun running, drug manufacturing. Like, he was into all sorts of like other shit that's bad enough. We didn't need.
I liked him being the crazy drug taking.
Like, even
gun
the contract
running
killing wasn't that bad, because it was like not legitimate targets, but like, it's like, he's a mobster, blah blah blah.
Or we could at least justify it away that way. But when we're explicitly told it's innocent kids who are like the family of targets, who are things like judges and not other mobsters, it's like, just stop it. Okay? Just fucking stop it. Just kill him already, because I know that's what you're going to do. Bastards. Anyway, that's when, thankfully, because that conversation it goes on for a while.
Interrupted.
Yeah, it gets interrupted by what I assume isn't a V'd-up bull, for how easily he gets torn apart. Yeah. Because bulls can run through fences. That's not...
Oh, God, yeah. Cows are incredible. People don't think cows are dangerous. Cows are incredibly dangerous.
Cows are.
Cows are, bulls
are even worse.
Yeah, well, some bulls are. It depends.
Well, no, but it just in terms of like,
if you don't know that bull, it's the same with anything. You don't know the animal.
Cows are dangerous. Bulls tend to be larger. Yeah, so they're going to be more dangerous.
There's some big fucking bastards around here, actually.
And that's a big bull. But I don't think he's beat up, because the sheep make fairly short work of him.
Yeah, the sheep sound like Nazgul. Did you notice that?
They do sound like Nazgul. And everybody, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter being like, "Oh, turn this into a horror film." I'm like, just go watch Black Sheep.
It came out in like 2006, 2007. It's Zombie Sheep.
Yeah, Zombie Sheep. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, it's hilarious. They don't fly, but they are proper brain-eating zombie sheep.
And it looks great, I have to say. The flying sheep with the big...
They had the big pointy teeth.
They did have the big pointy teeth.
Do you know...
And I've just realised it's not the beast of... it's the beast
This is going to annoy you. Do you know what they actually reminded me of a little bit?
No.
The vampire zombies in I Am Legend. You know the way they...
I haven't seen that in so long.
Sorry. Wrong vampires. They do look a little bit like that, but...
Priest. No.
The other thing with Karl Urban in it. Priest. Yeah, the way those vampires look. Yeah. Because he's got the cool hat and the thing and blowing shut up. And watch that if you've never seen it. He's great in it.
Yeah, and then go and listen to our Monorant at the Movies episode about it.
You know the way the vampires looked in that, where they literally didn't have the eyes, and that's what their mouths reminded me of. Also naked mole rats, because they've also got the teethies like that.
I just thought it was fucking hilarious, like that they're ripping that bull apart in midair, and the fact that one of the sheep seems to rip the testicles off the bull as well.
I just like the one that turns around with them leg and is like, more.
Well, yeah, because they don't seem interested in eating it.
They're just pulling it apart.
They're just ripping it apart, because they just drop the bull and chase them, and they rip apart that poor Secret Service agent who...
Where is she going?
If you're being chased by flying things...
Not up higher.
Don't go up. Yeah. She jumps. Like, that was... Yeah, so little to no sympathy for her as she gets ripped apart. And again, they just drop bits of her and chase the rest of them. Yeah,
she's just kind of raining.
Yeah.
And then MM gets
lots
to
of
have
satisfying
his,
thud sounds.
Yeah, and MM gets to have his arrival at the Hall of Rohan moment. With the doors.
Yeah, and once again, incredibly strong doors because they hold out the sheep once everybody gets inside. They find Samir inside. Yeah,
and the other lab assistant, and you find out that Samir is...
Well, the other lab assistant's dead.
Yeah, very dead. All over the place. The reaction's a bit much, and Starlight's like, wait, is this Zoe's dad?
Yeah.
Because...
well, no, I thought that was a reasonable reaction.
Well, no, like with Zoe, she's like, oh my god, you're okay. And he's like, oh my god, you're okay. Is Zoe here? And then everyone's like, oh, is this Zoe's dad?
Yeah. When the fuck would you think Zoe was there?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose...
She does take her kind of everywhere.
Well, and also that was...
Does he know she has V?
That's a very good question. That's a very, very good question. But also, yeah, he...
Because why didn't she
he
just
probably
ask
just
him?
thinks that she...
He works in the lab. Why did she go to Homelander to get V? He mustn't know. Because otherwise she would have just asked him to get V. Unless Homelander had already taken all the samples.
Well, also he...
Or were they getting a hold of it to...
Well, he might have gotten...
There's 8 vials missing from that drawer in Homelander's desk.
He might have gotten fired for knocking up Stan's daughter and then Vic hired him for something else. He might not work for Vought anymore at all. And also, even if he did, why would she get her human husband, father of her, we don't know if they're actually married, but why would she get him as a human to go and steal that?
No, but I was under the assumption that he did still work for...
But that's what I'm saying, even if he did, why would she get him to risk his job and his life to steal that? Especially if he doesn't know that's Zoe's...
Then where are they getting all the V and temp V for their experimentation? Unless he worked for Vought. Unless he still works for Vought.
Well, the Department of Defense and stuff probably have access to some of it. And I'm not saying he doesn't work for Vought. I'm just saying he doesn't necessarily work for Vought.
He could manufacture it if he was head of research and development.
Yeah, he probably knew the recipe.
Yeah, no, because the whole reason I was under the assumption that he still worked there until fairly recently is because of the V24.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to say he doesn't. I'm just saying even if he didn't.
No, when it comes to getting the fact that she went to Homelander to get the V for Zoe.
I know. That's why I'm saying she would had to have risked.
So I don't think he knows.
That's the other thing. That's the other reason why. Even if he did know, why would she still? Even if he knew that his daughter was going to get V, why would he risk his own life when she could just get Homelander to get it?
But then you got Homelander.
Well, also like, God damn it! Can we move on?
Anyway, that's Zoe's dad.
Yes.
They find out the virus has all been destroyed except for one dose. Butcher's little eyes light up like a crackhead on Christmas.
Yep.
A little twinkle twinkle, and he's like, oh, there's only one. Well, we should make a run for it with it. But she's like on his side as well. She's like, oh, it is too valuable.
Because initially when he says that they're going to get Starlight to blind her and then kill her, he's making that plan with the assumption that there's plenty of the virus around.
Yeah.
When he finds out there's only one vial left, he shouldn't be so quick to want to run off with it, because it looks like he's like, oh yeah, we can use that to kill her. It's like, well, you need more than one vial. You need one for Vic and probably another better one for Homelander.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody except for Vic is willing to agree with him.
Yeah, because she's like, no, we've worked too hard for this. And I love the story, because they're like, oh, what happened? How did the lab get destroyed? We injected V into a hamster. Yeah. And they're like, oh, that was your first mistake.
And rightly so.
Yeah, what did it do? It got loose. Anybody who has had a pet hamster ever in their lives has at one point lost that hamster.
Yeah, if there's two things hamsters are good at, it's escaping from cages and being unpredictably violent at random moments.
I lost a hamster for a week. Yeah. Because it had burrowed into the back of the sofa.
But they will also just like, they might be the happiest hamster in the world. You're out,
and
they have them out in the cage, you're playing with them, and they just turn around and
you.
Bite you for no reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a problem. Well, now, headcanon, as we were talking about earlier, I don't think there's any soup cats running around, but I'd like to think that hamster escaped. Yeah. And now
that hamster is wreaking havoc, because Jamie could fly.
Yeah.
And hamsters are fairly indestructible.
So,
like, if we get V'd up squirrels, because you can't kill squirrels. Like, squirrels are notoriously difficult to kill.
I reckon, no, I'm just going to say I want there to be one. So there's Jamie running around tearing it up in Russia, and now there's this hamster is going to start tearing it up around the States.
And if it continues of, like, they have V'd up babies, The way hamsters breed.
Well, they have to find each other.
The way no, but even just with a normal hamster.
Oh, right.
Like the way hamsters breed. All of Russia is now swarming with like little flying hamsters.
Yeah, nobody wants to make a run for it except for Vic and Butcher, and
then we get MM being like, "I have hives."
Well, yeah, everybody. It all
bastards.
kind of breaks down because Stan is like, "Well, I'll be the first to die," and Butcher's like, "Don't cry for him."
Stan's like, "I can't outrun them. I am an old man in $600 shoes."
But Butcher knows that that's the only thing that might convince Vic to stay, so he's like, "Don't cry for him, Vic. He wants to steal your kid off you." And that's it, all just falls apart again, and everybody starts shouting at each other, and Annie has a go with Butcher, and it goes on for a bit until MM's like, yeah, look, you motherfuckers have given me hives.
I want to go home to my daughter.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. Is that transmissible? And your man's like, oh, not really, just like blood, saliva, and semen.
Yeah.
And they're like, right, well, we'll inject it into your dead buddy there, use it as bait, and fuck up them sheep. And Frenchie's like, that man is in no condition to fuck those sheep. And it's like, oh, Frenchie.
As funny a line as it is, Frenchie's not that stupid.
No, but he is on a lot of drugs.
Yeah, but he's still not that stupid.
No, but just the way that fucking Stan turns around and goes, they would eat it.
They would eat it. Or at least tear it apart and have it in their mouth long enough for it.
But then when they inject it, I was like, wait, he's dead. There's no circulation. It's not going to disseminate throughout the body. It's only going to be in that one small injection spot.
I think that Vic would have
been
able to move the blood around the body. If she has more or less the exact same powers as Marie, she can, yes, control the flow of blood. And we saw her do it.
Is she bulletproof when she can cut her own hand?
Oh, can we not? 2 parts, not 3. Save it for the season wrap. Because, yeah, they inject the body, throw it outside. The sheep take the bait.
I like it when they're all watching and you can hear the sheep coming over.
Oh yeah, you could see them kind of flying past
that
outside.
Horror movie, like we're trapped in somewhere, like you got it in.
Oh, it's absolutely monster movie stuff.
That,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
The things on the ceiling.
Yeah,
crawling around. Oh,
but then
so
the anticlimax of it.
But when they take it as well, it's so quick.
But no, when you hear the drop on the roof and then you hear the banging at the walls outside, and then a door just opens and 2 sheep just walk in. But they're still beat up and they all run, and
it's carnage.
That's the bit where we were like, right, let's go back and watch this a whole load of times to see who runs what way.
Where?
Yeah, and it looks like
Butcher
and
has
Samir
somebody and takes him around the side.
Run off around the side of the house, and we don't see.
He comes up from around the corner.
Because we were like, that's so quick. How the hell could Butcher have?
Yeah, how did he do that?
Squirreled him away. Even if he doesn't keep him there, he needs to have hidden him for.
And been able to get back and move him.
Like, yeah, even if he didn't chop his leg off straight, well, he would have chopped his leg off pretty quick.
And he's opportunistic as well. So, like, he had to have found somewhere really quickly. Like, did he just knock him? I think he probably just brought him around the corner and knocked him out.
I'd say
him.
Knocked him out and hidden him somewhere.
And then when they all split up
the second he got a chance,
he moves
runs off and cuts the leg.
Yeah.
Or he might have cut the leg off then. I don't know, because if he did it then, I'm going to assume he chopped the leg off with tentacle powers or whatever he did to Ezekiel.
Yeah.
And that's how he did it so quickly.
Yeah, when they squeezed it, like, off.
Yeah, in a similar way to what we saw Zoe doing to Kimiko's arm. But yeah, it's a very quick turnaround. I'm not too hung up on the details, but I did want to go back and rewatch it just to see, because it was like, who runs where, because it's so frantic and it's so fast,
and it's dark as well, and it's chaos because you got sheep on around, and then you got a sheep vomiting everywhere, and then they start dropping out of the sky because they're dying, and there's the one that hits the roof and bounces, and the one that lands in the tree,
and then it cuts to the.
Thank God it wasn't cows.
Yeah. It cuts to the group and you see Butcher walking back up from towards, like, with the house behind him.
Sorry, far more terrifying livestock to get V'd up than chickens, cows, or sheep.
What?
Pigs.
Pigs practically don't need V. They'll eat you anyway. But with the sheep dead, it's all over except for the tears, basically. Stan gets sent back to prison because no
virus, no
deal.
Yeah, because I like Vic's like, did you think I wouldn't know the second your ankle monitor step foot outside of that prison? Like, because everyone's like, how did you know he was here? He's like, you put a fucking ankle monitor on him, you twat.
No,
Do
I'd
you
say
think
she
I'm
just
not keeping tabs on it?
guessed that was where he was going as well. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure he would have taken, if he's getting out of prison, he can take the ankle monitor off.
The way he scolds her in that episode as well, because he's like, I did not give you permission to turn my rec room into a laboratory.
But yeah, he gets sent back to prison. The FBSA people show up and show Vic the leg, and they're like, we're really sorry.
Yeah,
this
we
was all we could
scourged
find.
everywhere.
And is it before we see Frenchie go to the police, or after that she breaks him out?
Well, it's kind of during it.
Yeah, I can't remember, but somewhere around there.
In the sequence of events, yeah.
You
Stan's
see Stan
being
going
transported back. She pops the head of the driver. Stan's like, oh, that's interesting. Wipes off his face a little bit. She opens the door and is like, Daddy, I need a hug.
Yeah, that's pretty much the face she was giving, all right.
Yeah, because she's just found out that, I don't know what their romantic relationship is, but
Her baby daddy.
But she does care very...
Oh, yeah, because she's really panicked when she can't
She's
find
really
him.
upset about it. She does care very strongly for this guy. She found out that, he's presumably been eaten by sheep. So yeah, she's gone back for comfort, and yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
Like, she did throw Stan under the bus, but he did raise her.
Anytime he's mentioned it, he's been like, she did what I raised her to do.
He's always been very open about it and been like, yeah, this is,
I can't very well hate you for doing the thing that I told you to do, even if it was to me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I think, they'll possibly be able to patch it up, and it might not work out well for everybody else.
Yeah. Don't think that'll work very well at all. But now he stands a fugitive. Well, he does have that presidential pardon.
Well, he doesn't.
No.
So he is a fugitive.
Yeah.
But
you've got that going on. You've got
Butcher and MM get back into the car and kind of give each other this look of, well, that didn't go too well.
Yeah,
but thanks for not selling me out, Butcher, kind of, is the look that I took.
I took it as more of a, well, we gave it it was a really good plan. We gave it our best shot. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't by any fault of theirs that it didn't work out. Shit had already gone wrong, and they just made, they had to sacrifice the last dose, but it was that or their lives.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that look from MM is thanks for sacrificing that last dose. And
for our lives.
Our lives. And then back at the office, Kimiko goes to text Frenchie and be like, look, we can't fix each other, but we can hold each other's hands. Let's talk. And Frenchie doesn't even look at the messages because he's in the cop shop ready to confess to some murders.
That's so funny because he's like, excuse me. And she's like, fuck off, I'm busy. And he's like, I have committed murders, and just click.
Yeah. And then, that's all we see is Frenchie handing himself over. And then we cut to Butcher bringing Kessler into a house somewhere.
A cabin.
And we go inside and see Samir's tied up and freaking out when Butcher approaches him.
Yeah, he's gagged and everything. I don't blame him. He's just had his leg chopped off.
And Butcher's so fucking Butcher about it, being like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Your football career's over.
Yeah.
Just such a dick.
You're going to make us up some more of that nice little virus. And it was like, oh, no.
Yeah. Well, he says that there's the bit there where he says,
well, basically the second I saw him tied
we'll
up.
patch you up, and kind of looks over his shoulder at Kessler. And that's when there's the look from Samir of like, it looks like a who are you talking to look.
It could either be who are you talking to or oh god there's more of you.
Yeah, because he might
could have been either.
It could be either way.
Because the pair of them are like grinning at him like, yeah. And Team Bear all the way. Like even the bear is on Team Bear at this point. Like
the grin on Butcher's face when he turns around after talking about getting more virus made. He turns around, looks at Kessler, and gives him this big fucking grin. It's like, oh no.
Oh no.
So yeah, we're very much approaching the comics end, it looks like. But just as for this episode itself, what a fucking whopper. Like, I enjoyed the last episode. Everybody was saying the last episode was absolute fire. It was really, really, really good, but I enjoyed this episode more. I
enjoyed this episode more. I liked the last episode because of basically for Homelander and his reactions and his like childish glee.
Yeah.
And then you see that translated into this episode with how he's getting Ryan on his side.
Yeah. He's taking a bit more of a subtle approach as well with Ryan.
Yeah, he's like, I'm giving you the choice, but I'm going to prod you in the direction of hurting people.
But just generally, it was one of those like real great boys episodes like Sage Grove or...
The tension and the torment with everything to do with Huey and his dad.
Yeah.
And the gut-wrenching emotion of that. And then it would cut to them being chased by vampiric sheep.
Yeah, the absurdity of what was going on there. And then the kind of the comedy of everything to do with V52.
Yeah, going on in the background, even though what's going on there is so sinister as well. Because it's just increasing tensions and everything's like kind of the boys is looks like it's falling apart physically, whereas inside Vought, it's falling apart from the inside, but they're like trying to hold it together. They just haven't realised how bad it is yet.
Homelander's plan seems to be,
with the exception of Ashley. Like, Ashley's basically like kind of one of the only humans
well,
in
I was
any
gonna say,
sort of position of authority.
Ashley's kind of falling apart, but Homelander seems to be gathering. Things seem to be going more Homelander's way, certainly more than they are the boys anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah, so
like he's like, it looks like he's repaired that relationship with Ryan that we thought had been damaged so badly.
Yeah, that wedge isn't as big as we thought it was.
Yeah, that's being repaired. He's slowly looks like he's starting to bring Ryan around to his way of thinking, which isn't good, because he's doing it like by saying, oh, what would your mom want?
Yeah.
You know, and even though he's not telling him, yes, you can help people, he's encouraging him to help people in his way.
Yeah, no.
Not actually doing the right thing of, is he annoying you? Yes. Has he done it? Yes, we need to have him go through the correct channels. No, we're going to beat him.
They're just so good at these kinds of episodes. Like I said, there's that kind of Sage Grove episode that I loved. The episode with the race early on in season 1 and Popclaw's apartment, where they have these kind of two big storylines and one smaller storyline running concurrently throughout the episode. Some of it's really serious, some of it's insane and bombastic and over the top, some of it's hilarious, sometimes it's all three within each plot line, but they just slot them together so well that it just makes for incredible episodes of TV. And this, I thought, was one of those episodes. Like,
yeah, no, I don't know what's going to happen next week.
No.
Because we might not see that doctor until the end of the season or the start of the next season now. Like,
yeah, you don't know.
That's going to be going on now.
You don't know how long they'll pocket that plot thread for.
Yeah, so now I'm like, are we going to, like, it's obviously not going to be an immediate thing.
It will.
Depending on whether or not, if Kessler is real and is actually CIA and can mobilize resources to get Thingy into a lab.
Yeah.
Into a covert lab, creating this on it, like with assistants and stuff like that. You know, it might be a couple of months. But if he's not, and they're got to get all this shit to him, you know, I have no idea what's going to go on there.
On a larger scale, I think it'll go much the same way as it goes in the comics. Billy will start developing the virus, and then when Homelander's plan comes to fruition, Billy will be like, oh, hang on, hey, CIA, here, have this and load it onto a bunch of warheads and fire it at the nukes. It'll be that kind of a thing. For specifics of how things are going to play out with each characters, I haven't a fucking clue, because I never do. That's your predictions are your forte. The only thing I'm going to predict is that there may well end up being another two-parter from us in the rest of the season. Depending on if the rest of the episodes are as packed as this. We'll try to keep it as one episodes, but like, I'd rather put up 2 1-ish hour episodes than one like 2.5 hour episode for you guys. If you'd prefer the 2.5 hour episodes, let us know. But for the minute, we'll just go with this. As ever, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week to cover the first few minutes of the next episode.
The first 10 minutes up to the credits.
But if you want, you can head back and listen to our previous episodes or our other podcast, Mono Rants at the Movies. Or you can come and chat with us on Twitter at RantsMono, on Blue Sky at MonoRants, on Instagram monorants_the_boys, or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And thanks for joining us, guys. We'll chat next week. Bye-bye.